The Spanish announce table.
Okay, so before the main event, we asked before they lock up, who wins the championship match tonight, Jon Moxley or Kenny Omega? And again, with 67% of the vote, it went to Kenny Omega, which 67% of the audience was correct there with their voting. We did see Kenny Omega.
Those people were right.
Right. We did see Kenny Omega become the new AEW champion under some shenanigans. Now, let's just get right to it.
Yeah.
First off, the match itself was violent, was very hard hitting. They did this before with their, no holds barred match from a couple pay-per-views ago or a few pay-per-views ago. So we knew that the in-ring match was going to be awesome, and it was. But let's get into what we're really here to talk about. Kenny Omega gets injured, and coming from the commentary booth is the Impact Vice President, Don Callous, who's a good friend of Kenny Omega. Through some type of distraction from the ref, ends up throwing the microphone to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega uses this microphone, stabs or punches, however you want to say it, Jon Moxley in the head. That causes bleeding from Jon Moxley. Kenny Omega then gets the one-winged angel. He wins the AEW championship. Him and Don Callis celebrate, and then they go and leave as quick as they came, and everyone's pissed. We see Tony Khan jump up, and he's mad. We see a long line of wrestlers throwing their hands up, and then Marvez gets there and says, "Hey, explain yourself." And I'm paraphrasing here, but then Don Callis says, "Hey, tune in Tuesday and you'll have your answer." And then Marvez responds with, "We air on Wednesdays." And he goes, "Yeah, Impact is on Tuesday." So what did you think of all this?
Well, and he said, Impact is on Tuesday. Kenny and I will explain everything. So that is the key phrase. Kenny Omega is apparently going to show up on Impact Wrestling with the AEW World Title. So now we've seen them interacting with NWA. Mm-hmm. We've seen them interacting with Impact Wrestling. Are they buying these companies? Are we?
I don't know. Well, we're also hearing name drops of New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I don't know.
Here's the thing. AEW did for Impact Wrestling something that Impact Wrestling has not been able to do for Impact Wrestling for half a decade.
Since Kurt Angle.
And that's make me have to tune in to Impact Wrestling. Mm-hmm. What the fuck is this about?
So let me tell you my 2 cents about this whole segment. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Right. Okay.
Well, so I'm positive and patient. I'm positive and patient because they have given me no reason to doubt their storytelling moving forward. Again, one of the best storylines of 2020, in my opinion.
Seeds planted weeks ago. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so to me, again, what I was going to say there is the best storyline of 2020 for me is Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, the tag team into the singles careers. So I have no reason to doubt what AEW can do with their storytelling, especially at this level. Here's why I didn't necessarily like it. One, if we're going to tell the story of AEW as we do with WWE title changes, right? The most iconic title changes from Shawn Michaels to Stone Cold, from Triple H, or from JBL to John Cena, all of these iconic moments of the title being passed to the new star of the promotion, right? This now is always going to be tied to another promotion that's not yours. Right? We're going to see Chris Jericho getting that first ever victory over Hangman Adam Page. That's the inaugural one, right? Then we're going to see the amazing match between Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho. Jon Moxley becomes champion. And then we're going to get Don Callis, Executive Vice President of Impact Wrestling, standing there ringside. And in 5 years, if this relationship goes sour, that's always going to be there. So I don't know if I would have tied the championship change with another promotion. So that's where I'm a little bit apprehensive. Now, 2, I am not a fan of go see another person's show. I'm just not. I'm not the Vince McMahon, we don't say anything about any other company, it's only WWE. Look, I get it. What this feels like to me is a lot like Vince McMahon helping ECW in the late 90s when we saw Paul Heyman and the ECW guys invade.
This feels like them, they're throwing a bone because, hey, coronavirus is hitting everybody hard.
Right.
We're still making some money. Hey, remember these guys exist is what it feels like.
Right. So I'm okay with it, but again, I just don't know if I would have tied such a monumental moment, one of your faces of the promotion. He's a goddamn executive vice president of the real legit company to someone else. So that just made me sour. Again, the second point I was going to make there, I'm not going, like, I know you said you want to tune into Impact Wrestling. I don't have the channel, so I can't.
I'm not going to do it live. I'm going to find the clip, of course. But I've never thought I've got to check out that thing that happened on Impact Wrestling in half a decade.
That's true. I will give him that. The other thing, though, that I think I understand from a fan's perspective, oh my God, now think of all the crazy fantasy matchups we can do. We can do the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks. We can do Ethan Page versus Hangman Adam Page. We can do all these things. But what I think happens when you do that, when you start to open Pandora's box, is then nothing becomes important.
Right.
The championship now is on everyone's show.
Right.
What do I care?
You just made a real life SmackDown versus Raw. Like nobody
Well, but it can be cool if it's a one-off, but if you're going to continue this partnership and Hangman Adam Page shows up on Impact Wrestling, well then what he does on AEW Dynamite might not be as important as what he does on Impact. So what are we doing with the stories?
I like the idea of the reality aspect, like you said, where I'm not a fan of, hey, go check out so-and-so's show, but we're not denying their existence.
Right.
This is like boxing. There's a couple organizations. These people exist in this one. These people exist in this one. Hey, well, there may be a little bit of crossover here where two folks meet up and we're friendly folks, so we'll work business, and we're two promoters that know how to get paid working with another promoter. Cool. If that's what this is, okay, I guess. Impact Wrestling is never one I would have chosen. They're weird. We've discussed it.
There's a murder.
AEW is catching fire with the young, hip crowd in that, like, they're new. They've got young, hip, cool guys who know what young, hip, cool things are. I don't know that Impact Wrestling is that. They're very niche, if you will, right? So now the different aspect that you didn't touch on is me as a business. If I'm going to promote another business as I go along, I'm now kind of tied to that business in the public's eye, right? Like, and so they're going to now think of me in the light of this company when they view them. And I don't know that AEW should be viewed in the light that Impact Wrestling is. Like, they're just not the same in any way that I can think of. Don Callous is good. He's been around for a long time. I'm sure he's a great resource. Again, if you told me we're absolving Impact Wrestling because Anthem Sports, has realized, hey, this isn't paying off the way we thought it would. Access TV's like, sure, we'll just air the replay of AEW, and they make a deal, and you guys take Impact, whatever, right? Or that's the second show, right? It's now AEW Impact. Instead of Dynamite, and they've got a secondary show, and it's on Access TV. Okay, I'll feel you there. That's cool if that's where something like this were to lead. But I don't think that's what we're getting either. I think it's what we said. These guys are friends, and they're trying to say AEW's come in as we're the indie scene given a new stage, and so we're gonna help show the indie scene as we take this stage. And so they're making good on that conceptual ideology that they had, maybe. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, possibly, but yeah, where's the payoff?
Right. I'm totally right. Say I'm right.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all right.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
But
what I was going to get at is,
is,
it's big of me. I know. I'm a very understanding and captivating person. But what I was going to say is, I just don't know the payoff, because when does the partnership end? Are we just going to do some arbitrary December 1 of 2021, we're done? Or do we just keep blending? And again, when you blend, to me, that dilutes the importance of one show. I am tuning in to Dynamite. I love Dynamite. If you do a one-off where Kenny Omega shows up on Impact and just comes back and never goes back again, okay, it was at one time. Hey, now I saw the North, or now I saw the Motor City Machine Guns back again. I might go back to Impact when I have some time. But my number one priority, is Dynamite. I don't want to see stories on Dynamite being told on any other show. I don't watch Breaking Bad and they say, hey, Chicago PD helped save one of the guys. And now I'm supposed to go watch Chicago PD to get my storyline payoff on Breaking Bad. Like, that's just not. Crossover episodes are good in singular events, but not continuation. Yeah. So go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, well, just that. Exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so I watch AEW Dynamite. I don't know. I don't fact check here on the show. We don't fact check. So I don't know Nielsen and I don't know how DVRs work, but like I know how I work and how a large portion of folks that I've talked to work. I'm not watching this live. I've got a DVR. I use YouTube TV, free plug for them. And I watch it when I've got a moment. I might watch 10 minutes, 15 minutes, fast forward a little bit, watch another chunk, go do the dishes, watch another chunk, right? So if now you're telling me, okay, we're showing up on Impact Wrestling. Well, fuck. Okay, now I got to find Impact Wrestling. Oh, it's not on there. Okay, I know where to get wrestling online, right? Whether, if you were watching the YouTube video, you could see me winking the camera. I know where to get something that maybe I don't pay for a subscription for. So, okay, I'm going to seek that out. But what I am not going to do is what you think I'm going to do and watch the whole fucking show start to end. I'm going to fast forward until I see Kenny Omega in the fucking ring. And that's all I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
So, why are we doing this?
Yeah. I will say this to wrap up and kind of put a bow on this conversation here. I will say I will give him credit for a shocking moment. If you go back a few weeks ago to Tony Khan saying we're going to shake the pro wrestling world, and we just got Pac, and that Pac is great, but that wasn't necessarily the payoff. Well, I think now he can tell everyone to go royally fuck themselves because this was the payoff. This is pretty monumental from a standpoint of storytelling. Again, I might not agree with it, but it's something I'm going to remember for a while. I just don't know if I would have had a title change with someone, again, not in the promotion, standing there when I show the lineage of this belt in 10 years. I don't know if that's going to be as great as everyone thinks it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, I hope, like what you said, maybe this is a play that AEW is just going to buy Impact Wrestling. I'm totally okay with that part. But we shall see. Again, positive and patient. We are AEW fans. We do like AEW Dynamite more than anything else right now, but we shall see.
Here's another idea. We say, okay, we do this thing. Kenny Omega's over here. Him and Don Callous are a thing. Don Callous shows up on he's Kenny Omega's fucking guy helping him. We constantly mention Impact, but that's the last we've ever get of this. Like, he's over here, whatever. We just get Don Callous a little bit. Cool, but what that leads to is maybe a YouTube show, like another like Dark, where we get that Impact versus AW guys. Okay, if you want to do a little like over-the-top content promoting other folks, I would way more appreciate that, right? If I'm sitting at home like, oh man, I wish wrestling was on tonight, oh, I can pull up AEW's YouTube. They're going to have that Impact versus Dynamite showdown. Mm-hmm. And, you know what I mean? Like, one wrestler from each is going to wrestle on YouTube for an hour. Great, right? I would love that. I don't like what you're doing here with this. Maybe you have a chance. I'm going to watch. If you do something super fucking badass and cool on Impact, I'm going to give you props. But
right. Well, eat some crow and say this was great.
The Spanish announce table.